How would you feel if you were to be made captain of a sinking ship or commander of an army that is facing sure defeat in the next battle? Hi, this is Barry Phillips, a 10-minute Torah, day 5 of Yelech. And we are again, one more time, in Deuteronomy chapter 31. It says in verse 14 and following, Yahweh said to Moshe, see, the days have drawn near for you to die. Call Yehoshua and present yourselves in the tent of appointment so that I command him. And Moshe and Yehoshua went and presented themselves in the tent of appointment. Yahweh appeared at the tent of appointment in a column of a cloud, and the column of a cloud stood above the door of the tent. And Yahweh said to Moshe, see, you are about to sleep with your fathers, and this people shall rise, and whereafter the mighty ones of the foreigners of the land, in the midst of which they enter and forsake me, and break my covenant, which I have made with them. Then my displeasure shall burn against them in that day, and I shall forsake them, and hide my face from them, and they shall be consumed, and many evils and distresses shall come upon them. And it shall be said in that day, is it not because our Elohim is not in our midst that these evils have come upon us? And I shall certainly hide my face in that day because of all the evil which they have done, for they shall turn to other mighty ones. I'm just imagining, as I read this, Yehoshua is standing there at the glory manifestation of Yah at the tent of appointment. And he knows that the transference of authority and leadership is coming from Moshe to himself imminently, within just hours at this point. And he is going to be given full command of all the people of Israel, several million strong, I would think, by this point. He knows that Yah is going to grant him the ability to take them across the Jordan and give him at least initial success in overcoming their adversaries and the inhabitants of the land. But then Yah begins to describe, but it's all going to be for naught. These people are going to turn their back on me. They're going to forsake me. They're going to go after the false gods and idols of the land around them, and I'm going to turn my face from them. Again, it's as if he is being given the captaincy of a sinking ship or the command of an army that is facing an adversary that they are not going to be able to win against. There have been times, I can assure you, where I thought whatever ship I was in charge of was certainly going to sink. And it was, where are the life rafts? And where are the life preservers? Because we're going to get wet. Life just has those moments for us where it's like, we're not getting out of this alive. There's no way we're going to survive this. There are points in society where one might wonder, are we there yet? We're about there yet. However, Yehoshua is going to be successful in his endeavors. When you read over at the end of the book of Yehoshua, again, he is telling these people, you need to figure out who is your your mighty one. If it's Yahweh, our Elohim, then serve him. If not, choose your gods. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve Yahweh. And everyone said, well, we agree with you. After his death, they did fall apart. There is this propensity of mankind not to follow through on what could be the greatest of advantages. Because at some point, as Yahweh has already prophesied in this book, Yeshurun, Israel, you're going to grow sleek and fat and well-fed and happy and satisfied and content in all things. You're going to be blessed hand over fist. It's all going to be a glorious thing. And when that happens, your success and prosperity are going to push you to a place where you no longer think you need me. You're going to believe, I did this for myself. The American dream can be one of the greatest curses in that respect. If one can achieve wealth and personal stability and security, and you feel like you have everything at your disposal and all your desires are met and you're happy, it's at those places that we have a very slim chance that we're going to look to the heavens and declare, "You, O Yah, you alone are the one who has granted this to me. And I will use whatever you've entrusted into my hand to serve you and to honor you." More often than that takes place, you will find people sitting back and taking their spiritual ease, allowing themselves indulgences that are not theirs to take, and end up finding themselves under a curse, losing everything that they think that they have gained. This play has been played out over and over throughout many, many lives and generations. And so Yah has warned it's going to happen. And it's the fact he hides his face. Now, how did Moshe feel at this point? He's invested 40 years in these people. But he says over here in verse 27, "I know your rebellion and your stiff neck. See, while I'm still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against Yahweh. How much more after my death? I have stopped you every chance I've had, but you just got this streak in you." In the book of Psalms, chapter 132, if we go down to verse number 10 and following, it reads, "For the sake of your servant David, do not turn your face of your anointed one. Do not turn away from the face of your anointed one. Yahweh has sworn in truth to David, he does not turn from it. Of the fruit of your body I set upon your throne. If your sons guard my covenant and my witnesses that I teach them, their sons shall sit upon your throne forever. For Yahweh has chosen Sion, he has desired it for his dwelling. This is my place of rest forever. Here I dwell, for I have desired it. I greatly bless her provision. I satisfy her poor with bread. I put deliverance on her priests, and her loving committed ones sing for joy. There I make the horn of David grow. I shall set up my lamp for my anointed one. I put shame on his enemies, while on him his diadem shall shine." Yah is ultimately declaring, I'm going to work it out for the house of David and his descendants, and in key here, his descendant, Yeshua, will sit upon that throne, and he will be crowned, and it will shine. The favor of Yah is upon that city and that people. That's just the way it is. Whether the world likes it or not, that's the way it is. So Yah is not going to hide his face forever. If we go over to the book of Ezekiel, and we began to look in chapter number 39, it says here concerning the return of the exiles. If you get down to the end of the chapter, starting around verse 25, it says in verse 27, "When I have brought them back from the peoples and gathered them out of the land of their enemies, and I shall set apart in them before the eyes of many nations. And they shall know that I am Yahweh their Elohim, who sent them into exile among the nations, and then gathered them back to their own land, and left none of them behind. And no longer do I hide my face from them, for I have poured out my spirit on the house of Israel, declares the Master Yahweh." Though it would seem for a time that Yah has abandoned his people, turned his back on his people, turned his face away from them, that is, there's no longer any favor upon them. And there's been times I've been crying out, "Where are you, Yah? Where is the manifestation of your glory and your power? Where is the anointing? Father, where are the gifts of the Spirit? Why is it that you have abandoned us?" It's not for long. He will restore his favor and turn his face back on us again. And for that, we are prayerful and very hopeful. Shabbat Shalom to you in this great season of the fall feast days. I pray that the sound of the shofar has awakened your spirit, that your fast will be meaningful and productive on Yom Kippur, and that the days of Sukkot will be your greatest ever. Until next week, Shabbat Shalom.